look up at the skies, or look at all the fire folk sitting in the air. The bright boroughs circle citadels there. Down in dim woods, the diamond delves. The elves' eyes, the grey lawns cold, where quick gold lies. Wind-beat white beam, airy abeleys set on a flare. Flake doves sent floating forth at a farmyard scare. Ah well, it is all a purchase. All is a prize. Buy then, bid then. What? Prayer? Patience? Alms? Vows? Look, look, a May mess, like on orchard boughs. Look, March bloom, like on mealed with yellow sallows. These are indeed the barn. Within doors house the shocks. This peace-bright paling shuts the spouse, Christ home, Christ and his mother, and all his hallows. Mary, thank you. So, you know, some people might find that absolutely dreadful.
No.
And read it in a totally different way. And it'll work. Mary, which were the lines that you particularly wanted to hear?
Well, I can't.
Tell me.
Look, March bloom, like on mealed with yellow sallows. These are this peace bright paling shuts the spouse, Christ home. I didn't know how to put that together or separate it.
Okay.
This peace bright paling shuts the spouse, Christ home. Is it all the one, or do you break it up?
Well, the thing with Hopkins, you can do so many damn things with him. Look, where it starts, look, March bloom. Well, now the only thing that I would have queried was, like on mealed, I said mealed, and I chose to say mealed, like on mealed with yellow sallows, and putting in that extra syllable, it didn't work for me. But I don't know, how do you think it is? Look, March bloom, like on mealed with yellow sallows. For me that doesn't work. I said meal. You know, this is not a lecture about how to read Hopkins. But thank you, Mary.
Okay. Thanks, Mary. I knew you'd give the answer.
Did I give it?
Of course you did.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Norman, would you like to take the floor?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
I was originally going to read either I Waken the Feel or No Worse There Is None, but in fact John Dean has actually gone into poems like that, because I was always been very disturbed by the fact that Hopkins is just considered to be a poet of joy and a poet of looking at nature, and there's far more to him than that. And I've always specialised in the Dublin poems, the depressed poems, and the greatest poem of the desolate poems, I think, and to me has always been the greatest Hopkins poem, is Spelt from Sybil's Leaves, which has more in it than any of the desolate sonnets anyway. Spelt from Sybil's Leaves, which also took Hopkins, as he said, a very long time, I think something like 6 years in the writing of it. Spelt from Sybil's Leaves. No, I won't say anything about Sybil anyway, but it's obviously the Never mind, no, I'm just going to... Earnest, earthless, equal, attunable, vaulty, voluminous, stupendous, evening, strange to be, times, vast, womb of all, home of all, hearse of all, night. Her fond yellow horn light wound to the west, her wild hollow hoar light hung to the height waste, her earliest stars, earl stars, stars principal, overbend us, fire featuring heaven. For earth her being has unbound, her dapple is at end, a stray or a swarm, all through the in throng, self in self, steeped and passioned, quite dismembering all now. Heart, you round me right with, our evening is over us. Our night whelms, and will end us. Only the beak-leaved boughs dragonish, damask the tool smooth, bleak light, black, ever so black on it. Our tale, oh our oracle, let life waned, let life wind of her one skein, stained vein, variety upon all on two spools, part pen pack, now her all in two flocks, two folds, black, white, right, wrong, reckon but, wreck but, mine but these two, where of a world where but these two tell, each of the other, of a rack where self-wrung, self-strung, sheath and shelterless, thoughts against thoughts, ingrowns grind. This is Hopkins looking at a sunset, and this sunset is not just an ordinary one, it's one that appears to foretell the end of the world, the breakup of absolutely everything. And the world, everything in reality just collapses at the end of this. It's the most incredible poem, I think one could possibly imagine. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I used to read that with jazz, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's a lot of fun. And there are moments where, Norman, you've done it, where the rhythm changes, it begins earnest, earthless, and so on. And then halfway through, I think it's the second or third line, the rhythm changes completely. So you have to work very hard, with the musician to get that shift of rhythm. It's wonderful. Thank you, Norman. That was a most interesting reading.
Thank you, Norman.
Thank you. I'd like just to pick up on what you've been saying, and it's a poem on resurrection. Maybe it's too long to read, and I would need you to read it. Would you want to read the whole of it? Or?
Me?
Yes.
With pleasure, but is it
very
too long?
It's difficult, yeah.
It's fine for me, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh.
I just say what I just wanted to say, I will not read the poem. It's something like Sybil's Leaves. But I've come into Hopkins really from theology, really, which was my area, which I've worked in all my life. And but I've always liked poetry. And I just felt that got introduced to Hopkins, and I felt that there's more to him. Maybe in my early years when I wanted to write poetry myself, I was very attracted to his St. Boniface sonnets and saying, I can write like that, and tried some of that kind of thing. And then when I retired from teaching, I began to study Hopkins, and I found that there's much more to him. And there's much more to him than the kind of joy and deliciousness, as it were, about nature. There's a kind of joy that is also a suffering, but it always ends up in a joy. And it took me a while to see it. And also in the beginning, one of the things I rejoiced in about Hopkins, why I liked him, was maybe that I went through a period in my life when I wanted more. I wanted to enjoy more the old certainties of theology, of Christian faith. I wanted to be able to say, God is. At Christmas time, I wanted to be able to say, incarnation. It is. I just wanted to rejoice, and I just wanted to wonder and rejoice. Because I would say for a number of years, and especially I was teaching young people in Limerick in a college of education, and also for my own self too. I was always reinterpreting truth and Christian truths or Catholic truths in a kind of way that spoke to my psyche and gave me answers for where I was, and especially gave answers to the young people in front of me so that their eyes wouldn't be glazed. I want them to hear who God is. I remember having a very well-known book by an American author, Hort, which I still love, but in 5 chapters, God is truth, God is beauty, God is freedom, etc., etc. All these great themes, and teaching in a way that could evoke that in the other, as well as having desired it in myself. But then what I found in Hopkins, maybe it's because it came late to him in life, and it was this, came across very simply, but it's that influence in his early, his poetry always there's that response to that axiom from Parmenides, that everything is, the it-isness of things is what matters. And he seemed to carry the it is, and of course you could say that that's what he glorifies really in the St. Bymer sonnets, the sheer it-isness of the beauty of Wales, of the Windhorror, whatever it is, apart from his own, that you can look out and find it all there. And then possibly the same it-isness then seems maybe to have transferred it also when he became a Catholic and found it in the belief in Eucharist, in real presence, the it-isness, and how he needed that certainty. But I don't want to go into that, I don't know enough about it really. But then I came on with Hopkins and through the terrible sonnets in Dublin, and then Nature is a Heraclitan fire, poem on the resurrection, and I was introduced to Heraclitus. And I hope I'm only eating your wisdom here now, those of you who are Hopkins scholar. But I said, how will I handle this? Because actually I'm in a poetry group in Limerick, and I facilitate it, so I do a bit of the background work for it, but I let them do the talking. And we were looking at Hopkins, and I was saying, is this all cancelling the it-isness of reality, that I can just accept and wonder at? Is it all an upheaval? Is it all turned upside down? Is this it? And then I said, is it the influence of Darwin's evolution on it? What is it? And I mean, it's not supposed to have deeply gone into Heraclitus anyway, according to scholars. But everything seems to be turned upside down. And I was just wondering, and I'm putting this more as a question really, the utter upheaval in his own life that you find in the dark sonnets, which he handled and worked through as an inscape into his own self. He analysed it. He didn't just throw a whole lot of subjectivity over on the reader and expect you to sort it out. He really handled it in the sonic form. He kind of inscaped it and presented it to us in a kind of universal way. I kind of said that maybe this poem is saying that ultimately what Hopkins is saying, that it's only in being unmade that we are really created. You know, that it's only in the world being unmade that the world is truly created again. And he kind of quotes Christ at the end of the poem. I am all at once what Christ is, since he was what I am. And then he says in this joke, J. poor potsherd, he just laughs. He says, you don't have to worry about all these weak, these understandings of yourself, what you have gone through in your life. You can laugh at all of them, because in and through all that unmaking, you are being remade as immortal diamond. I find that kind of give me an understanding that God's relationship to creation, he's grasping the whole meaning of resurrection, which St. Paul says is new creation. New creation. And I think is Hopkins grasping here Paul's idea that actually all the sufferings of the world and the suffering within himself that he felt, and the unmaking of nature around him is all a recreation in face of resurrection. And it's in the recreated reality that we are immortal diamond. That we have the genesis of immortal diamond in us. We're still underneath that. We're still only going there. But it's possible for all of us.
Could we prevail on Irene to read some?
Just the last lines there.
Sorry, what is your name?
Joe.
Joe. Thank you very much indeed for saying what you've said. I know that every time I come to a festival, every time I hear a talk, there is something new to learn. And you've said something that's clearly very close to your heart. And thank you for that. It kind of gives me another perspective on this poem. Thank you. I need a breath for this, I think. That nature is a Heraclitean fire, and of the comfort of the resurrection. Cloud puffball, torn tufts, tossed pillows flaunt forth, then Chevy on an air-built thoroughfare. Heaven roisterers, in gay gangs they throng, they glitter in marches. Down rough cast, down dazzling whitewash, wherever an elm arches, shive lights and shadow tackle in long lashes, lace and pear. Delightfully, the bright wind, boisterous, ropes, wrestles, beats earth bare of yester-tempest's creases. In pool and rock pool parches, squandering ooze to be squeezed, dough, crust, dust, stenches, starches, squadroned masks and man-marks. Treadmire toil there, foot fretted in it. Million-fueled, nature's bonfire burns on. But quench her bonniest, dearest to her, her clearest selvet spark, man. how fast his fire dint, his mark on mine, is gone. Both are in an unfathomable, all is an enormous dark, drowned. Oh, pity and indignation, man-shaped that shone sheer off, disseveral, a star, death blots black out, nor mark is any of him at all so stark, but vastness blurs, and time beats level. Enough. The resurrection. Our heart's clarion. Away grief's gasping, joyless days, dejection. Across my foundering deck shone a beacon, an eternal beam. Flesh fade, and mortal trash fall to the residuary worm. World's wildfire leave but ash in a flash at a trumpet crash. And all at once, what Christ is, since he was what I am, and this jack, joke, poor potsherd, patch, matchwood, immortal diamond, is immortal diamond. Thank you so much. There must be others who would like to read their own, I'm sure.
Richard.
I might try the one that he wrote here in Munster. There were two young ladies, young children here who were nieces and nephew of the Cassidys, and there was a Miss Cassidy Mary, she was the elder, and then there was Eleanor. Her husband was Daniel O'Connell Pepper. He was actually, Daniel O'Connell stood for a gentleman with the name Webber, and his father obviously gave him Daniel O'Connell's full name as his Christian name, so he's called Daniel O'Connell Webber. But he died, I think about 10 years after they were married. And that man Webber had a brother who married a Lawrence from Hope, and these children were the children of that Lawrence Webber family. So I confused the connection there. These are Mrs. Webber, Eleanor Webber's brother-in-law's children. That would therefore an end to these children. Is that right? That's all right.
Yeah, Leo and Ursula.
Leo and Ursula. They were a niece and nephew of Mary's sister. So he decided to write this poem on a portrait of two beautiful young people. He never actually finished it, apparently. It's considered one of his unfinished poems. And here it goes. Oh, I admire and sorrow. The heart's eye grieves, discovering you, dark tramplers, tarrangeers. A juice rides rich through bluebells in vine leaves, and beauty's dearest, veriest vein is tears. Happy the father, mother of these. Too fast, not that but thus far all with frailty blessed, in one fair fall, but for times after cast, creatures all heft, hope, hazard, interest. And are they thus, the fine, the fingering beams, their young delightful hour do feature down, that fleeted, else like day dissolved dreams, or ringlet race on burling barrow brown. She leans on him with such contentment fond, as well the sister sits, would well the wife. His looks, the soul's own letters, see beyond, gaze on, and fall directly forth in life. But right forelock, cluster that you are of favoured make and mind, and health and youth, where lies your landmark, sea mark, or soul star? There's none but truth can stead you. Christ is trust. There's none but good can be good, both for you, and what sways with you may be this sweet maid, none good but God a warning waved to. One once that was found wanting when good weighed. Man lives that list, that leaning in the will, no wisdom can forecast, by gauge or guess, the selfless self of self, most strange, most still, fast forled and all foredrawn to no or yes. Your feast of that most in you earnest eye may but call on your banes to more carouse. Worst will the best, what worm was here we cry, to have havoc packed so. See the hung heavenward bows. Enough, corruption was the world's first woe. What need I strain my heart beyond my ken? Oh, but I bear my burning witness though against the wild and wanton work of man. Thank you.